Hi there, it's Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to work on block 3 of this Just Because quilt that I'm doing as a Christmas quilt. It's not going to be ready for this Christmas, but hopefully it'll be ready for the following one, so that's okay. Every time I watch one of Corinne's videos, To Be Loved Treasures by Corinne, who was the instigator of this project for the Just Because quilt. You can catch her videos on her YouTube channel, To Be Loved Treasures by Corinne. Anyway, every time I watch one of her videos, I learn something new. And one of the things that I so admire when I watch her is her organisation and how she organises her fabrics. And I thought, all right, that's me. I'm going to do that. And I'm not anywhere near as organised as Corinne is. Probably never will be. But anyway, I did tried my hardest. And here's my big stash. It's ridiculous. It looks like that. It's all nicely tidied up, folded up. That's the last time you're going to see that. But one of the things that I noticed, that she has a pile of kind of like the fabrics that would go into the background. Things like smaller prints. And what I've used here probably are the ginghams, you know, these little prints, these ones. So they just sort of like push back into the background. And then she has, let's leave this one out. Then she has sort of some middle designs that are there. And then she has feature designs. And I'd probably call this one a bit more of a feature. My baubles are probably in that place, but I don't really have any other big features. I may do as we get down the track. This is the very top of my quilt, the top left-hand corner, and this is the one beside it, and I'm working on the third one across, which will be then the top right-hand corner. I've done, you know, little bits of embellishment. I'm going to be adding some bits of doily. I've got another bit here. And so, yeah, and this Santa face will come down almost into the middle, and I'll have a think about it. I haven't really stitched much of it down because it was a scrappy bit, and it's got a tree here and a Santa face and the word Santa. That's not the middle, but it's because I've got 4 rows of 3, so it'll be my second row of 3. So not quite, because there won't necessarily be a middle. There'll be 3, 6, 9, 12. That's how it'll go. And I'll see how I go, but I'm all right. I'm thinking he might get a little bit more embellishment, and I just need to work out what I'm going to do, or whether I'll change it and do something different. All right, so that's my organisation. Thank you, Corinne, for helping me think about that a bit better than I was, because I was in, you know, I was in a terrible, I've got a terrible habit of just having everything all out so that I can see everything at the same time, and it's not helpful. So, panel number 3 being the top. I've actually got a selvage on this top, and it's the same on the other 2 panels. The selvage is there as well, just worked out that way. For the last 2 panels, I actually joined them together and did the stitching, and I didn't enjoy that. I found that I was constantly having to check what I was doing. My thread was going through to the other side. I didn't want it to go through the other side. I thought Corinne was doing panel by panel, and then I rewatched hers, and she is joining hers, but she's stitching hers from the front and then stitching it from the back, where I'm doing mine all in one hit. And I just found that I wasn't actually managing that bulk in my hand. I was struggling with it a bit. So for this square, I'm going to try doing it separate and then join it close to the end when I get to that embellishment part. So these pieces of fabric are coming over. So I do need to have it, in place just now so that I know what's going where. And I started to pick out a few bits of fabric, and that's when I was like, oh no, actually I better turn the camera on so that you can see what I'm doing. These were from a pack, from a patchwork pack, and they come with that little bit of pinked, with the pinking shears, those edges, I guess, to stop them from fraying while they're in the bundles in the shop. But this was a bundle of Christmas fabric that I've had for a while, and I thought I'll just use it now. So yeah, that's me. I am a bit later with this one. I've sort of been doing it on the weekend, and I don't know what happened this weekend. I got busy doing other things. Trying to think when I last did a video. It was my Christmas panel. Can't remember when I did that. Because I haven't had a busy weekend in that it was, it was crazy. It just was a busy weekend. I quite like this little piece. This is a Lynette Anderson design, and I like the little reindeers here. Now, this is where I was starting to think about what I was going to do. So this fabric matches others in the first two blocks. There is like a piece here, and the birds. So yeah, so they do sort of go together. So I think it's that colour green. It's that very fresh, more vibrant green. So I'm just going to leave that there. Had the teddy here. And then I got this fabric out and saw the Christmas tree. And then I thought, I think I really want the Christmas tree to be my feature that I can actually do some embroidery on, that I might do even with a gold thread. And I actually thought that bit of music print would be quite nice to wrap around. Actually, that will be all right to wrap over there, because what I need for mine is I need to make sure that I wrap over here, because that's what I'm doing, and wrap on the side. So I'm thinking this Christmas tree up in this corner here might be quite a nice feature. All right, might have a go at that, see how I go. So until I get my fabrics bit pinned in place, I need to leave this other one on, just so I know what's going over, what's going under, maybe. I might even do that, and I can have an over here. That one can go under there. All right, and the Christmas tree. I'll take the teddy off. I need to trim the edges, but the tree, I think, might be what I do. I'm actually going to cut these dots off. I use these dots on all sorts of other projects now. Now that I've started slow stitching, I might see if I can rip that actually. And I can. They're really good little filling in spots, and I could still use them. I used one here with a little turtle doves on there, so I'll keep it because it goes in the colourway. You know, it's in the colourway of the fabrics. It's just quite handy to use. So I haven't got a pile for little bits, so it's just going to be on the side here for a minute. I need a pile for little bits. Got all these other lovely piles going on. All right, so I think if I cut through here, rip through here, and then what can you see? Not any of that. Only a little bit of it. I just maybe need to find a different place for my camera for this quilt, because it doesn't, it's hard to capture. They're cute little kids, but I'm not going to worry about them. All right, I think the top of the tree here, and then the top of the quilt is just there. So I need to, gosh, I must have that in exactly the right spot. Wishing you a Merry Christmas would have been nice to have kept, but let me see how much of it I need. Oh, yep, if I just rip under there, just being a bit crazy. When you're ripping fabrics, all of these threads settle. You know, the first rip is always the one that creates the biggest mess, and then the threads start to settle after that. You don't have quite so many lying around. All right, so that's going to go like that, and I think normally I would have a different one, but I actually think it might be able to hold its own like that, rather than having, which means those little guys are just sort of there. I might try and, where's that? Probably just thought the face on its own was a bit odd. Maybe it would be better with a strip of fabric. What I did with these ones is I just folded them over. Whatever was here got folded over, and this was another corner one, the red one here, so it folded over, that was what I was aiming to do. So I still have to work that out. All right, let's try and get a little bit of sorting here, because what I do need to do is I've cut all the squares, so they're all done, but I don't need to I don't need this extra edge on this end, because this is the edge of my quilt. So I'm just going to, going in your ear. I was leaning far forward. I think that will probably be where I need to trim. So I'm going to do that one. So that I've got a bit more of an idea of where the edging needs to go, because I don't need that. This is the backing of the quilt, and I don't need it sticking out beyond what I'm calling the wadding. It's, you know, it's sheet filling. I'm just going to get rid of that black line. I really don't want that there. And the iron just happened to be on, so that was handy. All right, so I'm going to stitch that down. I had a very good tidy up, and everything is in some good organised spaces. Just then I couldn't find the pins. It happens every time I have a tidy up. Something goes wrong, and I'm always looking for stuff that, oh, there's that little girl's face. Might have to just actually use it rather than try and that goes like over there, and that's all right. But what am I going to put over there? Let me have a think about it, because she's just, my biggest problem is that she's just, I want this to be sort of the top, but I'm now going, maybe it can't be the top, maybe it has to finish closer to there, which just means losing that little bit. I just didn't think a cut off half a head look was going to look nice. I don't know that that looks any better, does it? But what I could do there is do a doily. Got this little doily pouch here, and that could go there. I think maybe it could go on the corner, which will hide it. Good. All right, that's better. Done. Let's keep working on that. So that's actually quite a big piece. That's probably the biggest piece that I've got on this quilt. But it is going to be embroidered, so I think it'll cope. I mean, I could take that bit off there. That probably doesn't need to be there, but I can bring other fabric in. All right, this is going in here. The reindeers are in this bit of the story too. I don't know that I want to do, you know, I was sort of getting a bit of a middle thing happening. I don't know whether I really want to do that. All right, so the next bit is I think three, well, I've got two middle things and two middle sort of patterns and one main. Maybe I need another middle pattern, something that's not too it's this funny colour again. That's actually quite it's hard to use, this one, because it's got that orange and black in it. I've got all right, no, not that one. Let's not use that one. But I've got this one. got this little bit of Santa fabric. He might be okay to use. And he can tuck over there. Is he going to be all right there? I might just cut that bit out. So this is the hardest part, laying out the bits till you're happy with the layout. Once the layout's done, then we can get on to the stitching. But backwards and forwards, taking things off, putting them on, just seems to be the part that I find the most time consuming, to be quite honest. If anything, it's oh yeah, I need to get, yeah, I think that's going to be all right there, but it needs to be under there. That bit of Santa didn't make a lot of sense there. I still, while I play with it, I still want it to make some sense when it's a bit of a picture. And I try and avoid those matching corners. Good. All right. So I think I'm going to put a bit of, I was going to put a bit of red gingham up there. I think that still would be good, as I might have to put something in between there. All right, while I'm playing with this, I hope that you're all doing well. Oh, green. Oh, I've got green there. It might be all right down there at some point. We're all doing well. It's for those that work, it's a long weekend, and it's the Melbourne Cup weekend, and today is Melbourne Cup Day. Paul and I don't, you get interested in it, but we don't follow horse racing as such. It's not what we do. Yeah, like I said, interested. When we worked, we would be a part of the office or whatever your workplace always had a sweep. We used to do it as a family when the kids were younger, and they all do their own thing now, so we don't do it anymore. But you put your 20 cents in and pick out a horse, and there was always, for second, third, and the wooden spoon, the last one. I didn't ever win it. Never. But anyway, that's all right. Like I said, we don't really get involved in it, other than it's a historical thing, and you're interested for it's newsworthy sort of stuff. Never went to the races. People get all dressed up, and like I said, we used to do it as a family, just as a family get together when the kids were all younger. But half the time, because it's a long weekend, as a Tuesday, they take the extra day to have an extra long weekend go away. The weather is absolutely stunning today. We've been out in the garden early. I'm going to fold up my fabric so that it's nice and neat and tidy. We've been out in the garden every day this weekend, getting my veggie patch sorted, and everything is planted. I've put the bird nest up because no sooner did I put the tiny little plants in, then along came the birds and thought they'd have a bit of a go at, because I was digging up the dirt and making it all nice and bird friendly to get the worms. And so yeah, I've had to net them already. Didn't take very long. I'm just looking on this piece to see what I've used already because I'd like to keep using the same things. I don't want to always pick up a whole new piece of fabric, and every square is different. So I think what I'll do is I'm just getting these out just to show you, and all nice and neat and tidy. What I'm looking for is something for in here, 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 and probably here-ish, to connect them all together now as with what I would call the background pieces. So, yep. So I've got, as a reminder, these bits here so that I remember they're there. And there's no point putting another cream one or another green check right up beside it, which is, that's just like a rough sort of reminder. Maybe this one could go in here. That's quite pretty with the stars on it. You know, I don't know about that bit. I haven't quite... It's a bit white, isn't it? I don't know whether I'll be using that. I've got it, but I think it's too white. The rest of this quilt is a bit creamer. All right, what other colour can I have? I don't know. All right, green, green, green. I've gone through the creams, I've gone through the reds. Now, I'm going to have green holly leaves. What about that colour? That might pick up other things I'll show you in a minute. This is already, yes, because this was a piece of fabric that I edged another Christmas quilt with. It could just be a little bit like that. Good. All right, that's going to go in there. All right, I need it to go from there to there, so it can have a rip in it. I'm hoping like heck I'm on the screen for you. All right, this is coming down. It's going to match in, you know, with this one here. I have got other colours, so while I play, I think I can actually get rid of that other bit of quilt, because I know that it's going to come in over here, and I know that I've got it right beside me, sort of like right here, to remind me not to put cream there or green gingham. I think that red gingham is going. I don't know that I was all that fussed on it. That might go there. Okay, that starry bit. Maybe the reindeer has to go in here. All right. You know what's happened again? It's that I don't even try. It just it just does it. And it's like, oh, why does it just do it? I do not know why it will do it. Now, you know, whatever is going to be, that's going to be the problem. It's because it's such a long line that the only way to get rid of that look is to come over it now and come down. And that might be where my next lot of holly leaves and decorations go. I'm going to come all the way down there. I may not need that much. So, do you struggle with this part of it? This is like, all right, let me put this over here so that I can get, yeah, that's going to be what I feel a bit frustrated about. All right, I think he can go like that because that's going to come in there and he could go over. He could go over the top of everything. All right, I'm going to leave them there, and then when I'm ready to join, we can have another look at it. Good. So, does that bit of gingham need to come in here? Because the Santa will be over it. How much of it are you going to see? Yeah, maybe I think a darker red. And that, it's the gingham that's bothering me, really, to be quite honest. Got this bit of red with the holly leaves. Yeah, I think that might actually be quite nice there. Here's another one of those gorgeous edges. I think I just have to cut it and we'll use it at some point. It's just where the selvage is. I already can't see what I did with the other one. Goodness me. All right. So, if that one can afford to come down a little bit. All right, let's, ooh, nearly shot it all off there. Goodness, I caught a thread. It took a lot with me. Now this is where the Santa's going to go, so there's only going to be a little bit of that showing. All right, I think that can go down to the next one. All right, not much more, and we're nearly there. Yep, I'm going to bring that down there like that. Santa's going to come in there over the top of it, and those bits of holly look quite nice there. All right, what have I got left? The green can go under. That's going to go, I reckon that could go over. Join that one. Do I want reindeers on here? Not really. What do I want in there? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, I know. I've got one of these squares. What about that green one there? That's quite nice. All right. I think we'll have that. I have to cut it in the middle because, yeah, that's where it's been cut at the top. Anyway, that's where I'm up to. I was asking you how you were, and I hope you're all good, as we all are. Like I said, it's a holiday weekend, and so we've just been having a play in the garden. The weather is gorgeous, and it's now the afternoon where we just get to do what we want to do, really. And this is what I want to do. You know, they can go sort of like, you know, as joining pieces. And I don't mind that one. You know, almost sort of like, not quite the 12 Days of Christmas was, but that was in my head when I was doing that. All right, I'm going to, now you can see where I'm headed, I'm going to turn you off. And then when I've got it all pinned down, I'll be back to show you for that last couple of seconds. All right, talk to you in a second. Okay, I think I've got it how I want it to be. One of the things that I thought about after I stopped videoing a second ago was maybe the importance of repeat. And so I had a bit of a look at the fabrics that I had in block 1 and block 2 and wanted to make sure that in block 3 I repeated something. I don't want to repeat every single fabric, but I want to repeat something. So I've decided to repeat this one from block 2 and this one from block 1. And so I'm now going to get rid of these because they're just being painful. I'm going to overlap the ones from block 2 onto block 1. Block 3. Block 3. So I know that that's going to overlap there. Let me just pull you over a little bit. Very messy right at this stage. That's going to overlap. I needed to adjust this piece because it had a funny angle, and that's going to fix that there. So I'm going to get rid of this one out of the picture here, just so you can see what the heck I'm doing. So this is the edge that will join. It will go, so block 2 I've left, that's the backing, that's the sheeting wadding thing. So with this one, there, it's in line. It's in line here. I'm not going to leave any other overlap because it will overlap on top of block 2. All right, that's the first little bit of math problem. So down the bottom, I have added that, you know, green and gold Christmas tree thing. And at the bottom here, I've overlapped the red with the gold stars, which is the repeat prints from those previous blocks. And I think if I'm going to make it look like it's one quilt rather than every single block is different, I think it needs to do that. So that's my first little math problem that design problem that I wanted to fix. And so that's where I'm headed. I'm not going to stitch anything in this video. I just wanted to get the layout sorted. These bits down the bottom here will overlap for the next row that comes underneath. All the time I'm making sure that I've overlapped sufficiently, because, you know, I don't want to go back to what happened in block 2 where one of my squares didn't overlap properly. I've just, you know, thought about what can, because I've got quite a large space here, those will break up that. I might have to do this in the initial, that one, remembering to do that in the initial tack down. When I pin it, I've organised how much I want to go over the top. I'm going to add that doily, little bit of doily up there. And so, yeah, I think I'm probably pretty happy with what that's going to look like. I'll tidy it up for you so you can have a bit of a look. It always seems to just take forever. And you know what I've done? You know, this is half an hour later from when I recorded that first bit, because what I needed to do is walk away. When I get to the point where I go, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how much, you know, I took off things. I had that bit of gingham that I didn't like. I've added this bit, which is new to what you saw. It just happens to be something that looks in the right colour range. I had this bit and it was almost in line with the other bit, and I thought, no, I don't want that to look, you know, this piece here, you know, it was almost in line with that, and I thought, oh no, that's just like too many little squares all matching up together. Whoops, just took that with me. So I found this little one that I thought, no, yeah, he's quite cute. That's, you know, it all goes in the same colourway. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Oh no, just don't start playing with it, for goodness sakes. No, I'm not going to add those yet. I need to think about where I'm also going to put the holly leaves that I've got on the other two blocks. But, you know, that's another week. That's the embellishment week. I need to make sure that I've got all these pieces where I want them to be. I'll do that nice big herringbone tacking that I love. I'm going to keep this block by itself and stitch it, and then, you know, just see how I go, because block 2 is going to overlap. I can stitch this to the edge and this to the edge, but not the bottom. That needs to be left because there's overlap here. The next block needs to join like right there. So I'll only come down so far with the canthus stitching and make sure that I'm going to be leaving sufficient, you know, so I can decide whether it's going under or over. I know that block 2 is going over this one, and so I don't need to worry about where they're going. That's coming in here. All right, I think, you know, I've probably gibbered on for long enough here. I want to go and get myself sorted to decide, you know, how I'm going to stitch it all down. I think there'll be some embellishment that goes on, definitely on the tree. There might be some other embellishments that go with some stitching in places that, you know, feature stitching. I've got my baubles to put on. All right, I think I'm done with you. I don't think that I need to give you any more information other than what I've done. This was a lot of planning today. And one of those planning things is about how I'm managing little prints, medium prints, large prints, and where the embellishment's going. And so while I didn't give block 1 and block 2 that amount of thought, it probably has happened intuitively, but I haven't done it with a lot of thought. But I'm pretty happy now with how those 3 blocks are going to look together. I will have another check once I've got it pinned and tacked down before I actually make the final decision of stitching. I will have a double check. I think I need to almost lay it out on the bed and see it in one long strip because, you know, that's the problem now. It's getting bigger and bigger and harder to definitely manage on screen. So yeah, I think that's me. I think I'm done for today. And I'm not done for today, but I'm done for videoing. So I'll get this sorted out and share it with you, and hope you can, hope you find it interesting. And if you're having the same sort of problems as me, I guess those are the things that we need to think about. And as I said, you know, this was my aha moment almost, in that, yes, I need to do some repeat. I don't need to repeat every single fabric. I just need to repeat some of them occasionally so that it looks like, and you know, some of these fabrics I've got in larger quantities, so they're going to be the easier repeats and like them. So yeah, alrighty. I hope you're having a lovely day, whatever it is that you're doing. The sun is still shining here. It's just gorgeous, and I think it's time to go and enjoy it a little bit. All right, have fun doing your stitching, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and thank you for those that have stuck with me right from the start. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.